Welcome to the SVG-TV News for Tuesday, November 16th. I'm Khalil Keita with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has responded to a statement issued by the Coalition of Churches and other concerned assemblies in relation to the government's vaccination policy for all frontline workers to get vaccinated by November 19th or face the risk of losing their jobs. Speaking on the issue on radio on Sunday, Prime Minister Gonsalves said he's very disappointed with the statement from the churches.
First of all, this document was issued. It is unsigned and it's undated. Yes, and what I'm saying is this: it comes through the secretary from Pawi, on Elvin Peters.
Oh, okay.
That's what the covering of the email to my office said.
Oh.
But to show, just to make 2 points about it. This is a statement of 750 words, 10 paragraphs, and not one single encouragement inside of this document telling you that you must take the vaccine. The most they get, they say, we are requesting that each citizen of our great nation considers seriously the gravity of the situation before us and do all within our power and conviction to adhere to the protocols established by the Ministry of Health. That is to say, wearing of masks, physical distancing, hand sanitizing, and proper hand washing. It's either anti-vax or permanently vaccine hesitant.
The Prime Minister also clarified that the vaccination policy of the government is not a mandate, but rather a requirement for a job.
The paragraph begins like this. We therefore urge all to exercise charity one towards another regarding the COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Well, they're not vaccine mandates. You have a choice. There's a requirement for a job. But be that as it may. They then go on to say solid facts are helpful. Oh boy, I wish if they will follow that advice. Name calling and shaming are not. I would really wish if they follow that advice, because after they say name calling and shaming are not, you know what they then did? Hear the sentence. We strongly believe that in threatening people who have a difference of opinion in taking or not taking the vaccine with loss of livelihood is un-Christ-like and therefore undesirable.
The Prime Minister urged frontline workers and all public servants in the state to get vaccinated, stressing that it is not his intention for them to lose their jobs for not taking the jab. The leadership of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force expects that all officers, except 25, would take the COVID-19 vaccine, as recommended under the Public Health Act 2021 as frontline workers. This is according to Prime Minister Gonsalves, who on Boom FM on Monday said more may choose not to get vaccinated by the November 19th deadline and even after the 10-day grace period. The Prime Minister said if that is the case, there would be a smaller police force, but a more efficient one.
So I am not, but I believe that the overwhelming number of police officers, when this thing comes out in the wash, would have taken the vaccine. The leadership of the police force tells me that they expect that all except about 25 or so may not take the vaccine. And I told them I think at least 100 may not take the vaccine, maybe more than 100 may not take the vaccine. But I believe
thus far, of the 1,300 police officers with the RSVG police force, 800 have already taken the jab, and Prime Minister Gonsalves expressed how happy he is to see the recent vaccine uptake among the law enforcement officers.
I'm happy with the way it is evolving in recently, because it has jumped significantly. Because as I said, on Monday, it was 59%. A week before, it was just 51%. And between Monday and Tuesday morning, 2 percentage points were added. That is to say, it went from 59 to 61 by Tuesday afternoon. By Tuesday morning. And by Friday last week, at close, 4 o'clock or thereabouts, it had jumped to 68. I expect that all now, so it's probably over 70 because people would have taken on Saturdays, and some would have taken probably while we are talking.
Outlining several new strategies and plans for the police force, Prime Minister Gonzalez is confident that the force can operate with only 800 officers.
We can utilize technology far better. We can utilize mobile systems, I'm talking about transportation, far better, far more effectively. And we can reorganize the police force in accordance with what you have at hand. Let us take, for instance, at the moment, SSU members, you have maybe 120, 130 members in the SSU. A number of them do stationary duty. That is to say, they go and look at the securing the residence of the Prime Minister, the securing the judge's residence, ambassadors, and all the rest of it. The stationary, we can create a personal protection unit and don't require the SSU to be so engaged, so you can free them to do other things. You can train particular persons as auxiliaries for special protection, and you can have a unit itself dealing with that. And you can reorganize other units too in an efficient manner, more efficient manner.
Under the government's statutory rules and Order 2021, police officers and all other frontline workers have until November 19th, this Friday, to get vaccinated against COVID-19 or find another job. And Superintendent of Police Trevor Bailey on Sunday appealed to his colleagues in the RSVG police force and all other Vincentians to get vaccinated. SOP Bailey said that given the nature of their job, police officers should want to get vaccinated to protect themselves against the viral illness.
We wear our masks, and whilst we have to practice social distancing, the nature of the job sometimes does not allow us to practice social distancing. If we going out and we have to effect an arrest where we have to be up close and personal and actually touching someone to make that arrest, or there's a fight in progress and we have to get in the middle to deal with a situation like that. Now, the mask that is worn could be easily shift or even fall from your face, and the exposure is real. So the nature of our job requires us to be vaccinated to give ourselves a fighting chance in the event that we are infected with the coronavirus.
SOP Bailey noted as it currently exists, SVG does not have an army nor defense force, and the only security as it stands from internal or external threats is the RSVG police force.
As it stands, no, we don't have an army, we don't have a defense force. The only security as it stands from either internal or external threat is the police force. And God forbid that 75–80% of the police fall ill with COVID. What becomes of the national security of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? And the remaining 20% will be on the job. How long could 20% carry the workload? Another reason why I urge my colleagues to get vaccinated. I mean, when we wanted to join the constabulary, when we went for that interview, we advanced all sorts of grandiose ideas that we want to make St. Vincent a safer place, we want to assist in the defense, we want to be the difference in our communities for other persons to see and emulate. These are all reasons that we advance. Now it's time for us to put our hands up and come to the party, so to speak. Get vaccinated.
Meanwhile, on radio on Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said as of last Friday, November 12th, the vaccination rate among police officers stood at 68%. He further noted that there are over 200 applicants for the RSVG police force, all of whom are vaccinated.
Over 200 excellent applicants for the police force. All of them have been vaccinated. Most of them 2 doses and others 1 dose. and we will be taking in, as usual, a number of them, and perhaps for training before the end of the year, we may, as recruits, we will take on, we may put in 100, maybe 110. So they don't think, look, I want to re-emphasize this. I don't want anybody to lose their jobs. But I am elected Prime Minister. I am sworn, when I took the oath of Prime Minister for the 5th time, I take the oath in relation to delivering good government and to have public order, public safety, to have public health. All of these things.
Officials of the SVG Teachers Union will be assisting teachers in negotiating with landowners to purchase lands at a cheaper price. This is according to President of the SVG-TU, Oswald Robinson, who was delivering brief remarks at the virtually held C.W. Prescott Memorial Lecture last evening as part of activities to mark Teachers Solidarity Week 2021, being held under the theme, Teachers Overcoming Obstacles, Making Our Mark in Challenging Times. Robinson said the initiative is being undertaken to particularly assist teachers who were impacted by the recent eruption of La Soufrière.
Say that tomorrow, a couple members of the National Executive, we would be visiting some lands of which we have intention to draw to the attention of our teachers, and especially those who express interest. There's some of our members from the Red Zone, among other teachers who are interested in purchasing land. So we would be seeing the landowner and we would be having some further discussions and get back to you. The union is not going to buy the lands. We are going to play a role in assisting you so that you would have a reasonable package. And we are going to do this in fine style.
Robinson used the opportunity to further encourage teachers to take the necessary precautions to stay safe and healthy as they engage in face-to-face instructions.
I want to use this opportunity to encourage our teachers to remain safe, continue to do your work, remain healthy. If there are needs for you to see your medical doctor, do so with urgency, because there are so many illnesses going around, dengue, COVID, and there are many others. So we want to ask you to remain steadfast, but be healthy and to be strong. In terms of your exemptions, you follow the procedure.
Meanwhile, educator Adonis Charles, who presented the C.W. Prescott Memorial Lecture last evening, said while there has been a significant amount of upgrades in the education system over the years, there are still a lot of flaws which must be ironed out. Charles said a frank and open conversation is needed between government officials, teachers and principals to identify some of the problems affecting the education system so that action can be taken to address them.
To the Ministry of Education and the government of this country, you need to sit down and listen sometimes to what teachers and principals have to say. Because we are the ones under the coconut tree, we know how things are dropped. Right now in my school in Spring Village, I have a child that is autistic. I have 2 with ADHD, confirmed, tested. We have 2 special needs persons in the curriculum section. And if each of the 67 primary schools in this country has 1 person with such disability, how are they going to make out? What are they going to make it?
Speaking on inclusive education, Charles said this is one of the main challenges facing schools island-wide. He noted that while it is feasible or can work, more resources will need to be put in place so that teachers are more equipped and trained to deal with children who are differently abled.
We are for inclusion. The research and the literature has shown that inclusion can work, but there need to be additional resources. The curriculum unit need extra hands on deck, and we need to start to send people, the government needs to start to use some of these funds that they get for the global partnership in education. Use some of those funds and start to access higher training in dealing with the special needs children in our school. That is one of the main challenges that we have. And you're saying to us as teachers, regardless what, overcome that. Our teachers are regularly college trained. The St. Vincent Teachers College does not offer a specialized area of course and training for these our students. And that to me is a big challenge that we have to fight with.
Listing a number of medical problems that are facing students in schools, the educator said that he is very disappointed with the absence of screening for these defects and said the government needs to use its resources to assist parents to identify some of these issues in their children from an early stage.
They fall into the cracks now. We have done well, but a lot of our children are falling into the cracks because you see those who do not make it in the mainstream and get in the top schools, God help some of them. We have children in our school with vision problems, hearing problems, speech impediment. And all of it is not the responsibility of the government, but if we're going to give help, we must give the help in the areas where parents are not able to access the resources. And to compound the issue, there's an absence of screening in the schools.
Activities for Teachers Solidarity Week continue today with a panel discussion which should be in progress at this time. Tomorrow is the annual general meeting of the SVG-TU, a cultural showcase on Thursday, the annual Solidarity Rally on Friday, and the President's Awards on Saturday. And Minister of Education Curtis King has expressed concerns about the rate of dropouts at secondary schools throughout the country. Minister King said on radio on Sunday, while there is a significant improvement with the performance of students at the external exams, there is still a concern with the extent of school dropouts.
Another area that sometimes we don't look at, and as an educator myself, I've always been looking at this because we have to look at all the areas. It doesn't matter how the figures turn out, but it's significant. Now, when these students enroll in 2016, 2017 for the secondary schools, there was 2,098 students who enroll in Form 1. 5 years later, 1,654 wrote the CSEC examination, at least registered for the CSEC examination, which gives us a difference 350-something students. Now, as educators, we have to find out where these students are. We know some would have repeated, some necessarily would have dropped out. With those who repeated, we will know the challenges that they have, but where there would have been dropped out, we have to find out, well, why?
Minister King said education officials will be seeking to find out why some students are not attending schools.
There are a number of reasons that persons have been coming up with over the years, financial being one of those. But we are satisfied that this government, through its targeted intervention, has done significantly well in terms of meeting some of these financial needs. We still have to examine the situation to find out, is it that those who are no longer in the system and then go on to Form 5, is it that they are not satisfied, let us say, with the curriculum at the school? You see, these are all issues we have to come to terms with, and we have to analyze so that we could enhance all that we are doing. There's clearly significant improvement in the performance of our students over the years, but we still have these little issues that we have to deal with so that we could do even better than we are doing at present.